welcome back to the Black Sheep Podcast. Last week we told you guys that we were going to start releasing these on Thursdays. We apologize. We promise next week it'll start. But thank you guys for joining us again. We got a packed show today. We got the NBA offseason in full effect, so we got some trades of the offseason. We're also going to do some early MVP picks, Rookie of the Year, sixth man, who's going to win it. A lot of NBA stuff. And then we go into college football. We're going to do a college football playoff preview. Tuesday, the rankings just came out, so we'll talk about those. Then we'll talk some young quarterbacks who are coming out for the 2021 draft, see who our top 5 guys are, where we think they might go. Also some young guys in the NFL, Tua and Burrow, both had very different weekends. And then we're going to talk about, off of that Burrow stuff, some of the top coaching jobs for next year and how attractive they might be. AFC South is an interesting race. We'll talk about that. Same with the NFC. Talk some things there. Then we're going to introduce a new segment this week called the Wolf and The Jag. We like to get our homer takes out, so
yes, sir.
We'll introduce that segment. So if you want to turn it off after that point, you can, but you know it's coming. So start off, we had some NBA news. Actually, let's start off with the house cleaning stuff. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe, like, share the video with your friends. Turn on those notifications. Same with Apple Podcasts. Leave a review for us. Thank you. We have a Patreon. You can join $5 a month. Get in a Discord chat. You can talk with us exclusively. Get some fan-only perks. Join that Patreon and Discord. So we'll get right into it. NFL offseason. NBA offseason. Jeez. All we do is talk NFL, so I got to get used to it. Free agency began this week. We saw some big movements. CP3 going to the Suns. What do you think about that?
I think that's a perfect marriage. I think they gave up a lot to get him. I think they gave up like 4 firsts, if I saw that correctly, and that's a lot for Chris Paul at his age now. But I think him and Book will be perfect together. Book has to create a lot of offense on his own. Now he'll be able to spot up and take some more open shots, hopefully. So that's always been his problem is shot selection. So getting somebody like Chris Paul in there should help them free up that offense. And they went 8-0 in the bubble, so maybe they figured something out.
Yeah, the Suns are an interesting team. I loved it. I think it instantly makes them a contender in the West. That might be a little rich because it is Phoenix, but still, Devin Booker's an animal. He just doesn't get respected because he is in Phoenix. But those firsts, I don't think they're that big of a deal. Yeah, it's 4 of them, but I saw something, and it was like the perfect comparison for me. Where in terms of NBA draft picks, you have 1 through 5 is kind of like your first-round picks in the NFL. And then 5 through the lottery is kind of like your middle rounds. And then after that is kind of late-round stuff. So when you get in those 20s, which the Suns, if they're contending, plan to be at, those picks are kind of a wash because we don't see that many get picked that late that actually make it. Obviously, there's examples, Kyle Kuzma, Rudy Gobert, people like them. It happens. So it's not a knock on the picks, but overall, I don't think they're losing that much, especially if they think they're contending. And like you said, it opens up Devin Booker. You give him a lot more options. DeAndre Ayton can do a lot, and Chris Paul's the perfect pick-and-roll point guard. So it's going to be a fun – and they got Steven Adams too, didn't they? Or no, he went to New Orleans.
Yeah, DeAndre Ayton's going to have to be huge.
Yeah, that's going to be nice. So I like – Phoenix is going to be – an interesting team to watch. CP3 still got it. I mean, he took a rebuilding OKC team to the playoffs, so it'll be nice to see how he does there. So based off of that, I mean, do you think – does this impact your finals picks coming out of the West, or are you still –
No, not at all. I think there are still one more superstar out.
Okay. Who are your finals picks next year? Way too early. Predictions.
Nets, Lakers.
Nets, Lakers. Kyrie, KD versus
maybe
LeBron.
Harden. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe Harden. So Father Time is undefeated. Nobody's ever gotten away from him. Is this the year LeBron finally gets it, or is he going to continue to pull a Tom Brady and defy the odds?
Well, I think he'll get a lot of rest this season, hopefully, since it is such a shorter offseason. Hopefully he takes some games off. But like I said before in this podcast, who knows with him because he's the ultimate competitor. So hopefully he'll get some more rest this year. I think he's still got 2 more years maybe to be a top guy in the NBA. Then you can expect to see the decline. More of just a point guard, can't take it to the hole, but I can still get you open type of deal.
Yeah, I don't think that affects him that much either, but it was worth asking. Uh, MVP favorites. Who you got in the NBA?
Probably Kevin Durant.
Durant coming back? You think so?
Yeah, I can just see him having a huge year, especially on the
So
Nets.
yeah, definitely. But if he gets Kyrie, Kyrie's gonna take some buckets. Harden gets there, he's gonna take some. But the NBA doesn't like giving out the award a lot to the same person. So I think it's gonna be somebody out of the blue.
That's why I would say Giannis, but he keeps getting it, so I don't think they're going to pick him again. Just voter
Yeah,
fatigue.
watch it. Now this is hot take alert. Uh, Year 2 in Miami, he already carried him to the finals. What do you think about Jimmy Butler, MVP if he does it again?
Maybe I don't see that. See that Heat team being like the not to take any shots, but I feel like that Heat team's going to be like the Jaguars, have one good run, and then it's just going to all implode.
That happens in Florida.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later. Uh, so from there, I mean, we also had the NBA draft. I mean, me and you did a show during the draft, so we've had a week
All
to
over
kind
the
of
place.
all over the place. So we've had a week to kind of think about it. Rookie of the year, who you got early? Early picks.
I'm going to take LaMelo Ball. I hate LeVar and I hate Lonzo, but I really think LaMelo is going to be nice, tall. If he can shoot consistently, that's his only downfall is that 3-point shot. But I think he'll create a lot of buckets. Be interesting to see him and Devontae Graham because he was the one of the most improved players last year. Be interesting to see how they work together. But I can see LaMelo getting buckets and being top 3 in assists.
Yeah, he's a distributor. He just got Gordon Hayward to help him out. I don't know how much of a help Gordon Hayward is at this point. He hasn't been the same since that ankle injury. But if anything, Gordon Hayward would be a nice little spot up shooter for him, a little outlet because he'll still give you between 16 and 20 a night if he goes off. But I'm going another way. I'm going down to Orlando with Cole Anthony. He's a top recruit coming out. Obviously fell off. He helped point guard Roy Williams' only losing season in North Carolina. But he'll get plenty of chances at the Magic. I mean, they don't really have a lot of high-level scorers. Markel Fultz kind of came along last year. I don't
Aaron
think he'll
Gordon.
ever be – yeah, Aaron Gordon, but I don't think those two will ever be high-efficient scorers. So I think Anthony will definitely get his shots, especially with the second unit there. I'm going Cole Anthony for my Rookie of the Year. I wouldn't be surprised one bit if that happened. And then finally, who you got winning the title?
I got the Lakers for sure. A little bit of a homer take, but they're
For
I think
sure.
I think their roster is a lot better than it was when they won. I know it's in the bubble and everybody wasn't healthy, but I was thinking maybe the Warriors knock them off. Wiseman, I think, will be great with the Warriors, but that Clay injury hurts. Losing Clay for the year again. So I think, especially with Harden wanting out of Houston, I don't know how that's going to go. They got Boogie in Houston, so maybe he wants to stay. So I don't know. But I think the Lakers, it'll be between the Lakers and the Clippers again. I just think the Lakers have a lot more depth than they did last year.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think it's going to be the Lakers too. I want to say the Nets just because I think KD is going to come out firing, but I don't know how him and Kyrie are going to work together. Kyrie's kind of a guy who needs the ball in his hands to really do work, and that's the same with KD. So when KD was with the Warriors, Steph had no problem moving the ball because that was their system. So it'll be interesting to see how he works with a guy who actually needs the ball in his hands to be effective.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the Lakers, what they did in the offseason, I mean, they arguably got better with Wes Matthews over Danny Green. A little bit on defense is going to be lost with them too, but Schroeder over Rondo, you got to think that's a win. Then you get Marc Gasol to replace JaVale McGee, and you get Montrezl Harrell to replace Dwight Howard. So I just think they'll be fine. And they somehow kept Kuzma. And if Kuzma can get back to how he was his rookie year, That would be absolutely huge. They could just dominate teams if he can get that confidence back.
Yeah, Lakers fans really fell off of the Kuzma train last year and were willing to let him walk. So yeah,
For
hopefully
anybody.
Kuzma,
Trade
yeah.
Kuzma for a bag of chips.
So hopefully Kuzma can get that mojo back. And because that was one of the things when they traded for AD, it was everybody can go except Kuzma.
Yeah.
So hopefully he gets that back.
Even a lot of Clippers fans are saying that Montrezl Harrell isn't going to be good because he doesn't have Lou Williams like LeBron and isn't top 3 passer in NBA history. No way he can get
Yeah,
open buckets playing with LeBron.
yeah, I know that's gonna be weird, but it'll be fun. So let's transition from there into college football. Let's talk about that a little bit. We are recording on Friday, November 27th. On Tuesday, the college football rankings came out. We had Alabama 1, Notre Dame 2, Clemson 3, Ohio State 4, and we had Texas A&M 5, Florida 6, UC 7. So top 6, no real surprise. We saw what those were going to do. Interesting note that everybody is kind of fired up about, well, a lot of people, me included, was BYU being left out of the top 10. That's super annoying. I don't know how that's going to work out for them. I would have loved to seen BYU get some love because I love their QB. What do you think of the early rankings?
I think it'll stay the same. I think the only thing that can change is like a flip flop with Notre Dame getting 4, Clemson getting 3 or 2. I don't know how they would do that if Clemson won. I don't know if they jump Ohio State, depending on how the Big Ten finishes. It ain't looking too good right now. So if they go into the Big Ten championship against a 2-loss team, it won't really be that impressive. So maybe Clemson could jump them to 2, but it doesn't matter. They play each other anyway. But if Notre Dame wins, it'd be interesting to see if Notre Dame wins out and wins the ACC championship game against Clemson. It'll be interesting to see who takes that 4 spot.
Yeah, I talked about this earlier on just social media. If Notre Dame wins out, I think the fact that they beat North Carolina today, even if they get to the ACC championship and lose to Clemson, I think they're in no matter what. Clemson, on the other hand, it would be interesting if Notre Dame was able to beat them again because Clemson would have 2 losses. So then you'd come down to, are they going to let a 2-loss Florida get in? Because it looks like they're on the road to play in the SEC title game against Bama. And I think we can all assume that Bama handles business against Florida. So that would be an interesting thing is, are we going to get Kyle Trask and Florida to take that 4 spot? Are we going to get Trevor Lawrence and Clemson to take it? Or is Cincinnati, because they're more than likely going to be undefeated, going to
Yeah.
jump into that 4 spot and we get our first group of 5 in the playoff?
I don't think there's any way Cincinnati makes that top 4.
Yeah, so that would be, I mean, there was going to be some arguments. It's going to be some drama because you'll have
For
an
sure.
undefeated Cincinnati. So what it'll come down to, which we've seen this play out before, is there's going to be Texas A&M on the sidelines. They'll probably only have 1 loss, but they weren't in the title game. Do they let them get in? Because remember a couple years ago, Bama did the same thing. They weren't even in the SEC title, but they made the playoff. So
I could see A&M getting in.
yeah, it'll be their only convincing win right now is Florida, which I mean it's a good win. Florida's number 6 and they're on fire, so it will be interesting. But yeah, Cincinnati is in prime position. They're closer than anybody's ever gotten. So I kind
We'll
of want
see.
to see Clemson lose again just to see that scenario play out. But I also want to see Clemson in the playoff.
Say
So
Clemson beats Notre Dame by 20. Is Notre Dame still in?
oh yeah, because they still have that win over then number 1 Clemson.
Yeah, I think you have to
So they'll
put them in
have
unless it's like I can see if they take them out if it's like 41-3. Then I can understand them not
yeah,
making it.
Clemson's got to like absolutely blow their doors off
Yeah,
to get kicked out, but I just don't see it because at that point they'll have 3 top 20 wins. I think 4 top 25, depending on how the rest of the ACC plays out. So that's a pretty strong resume. Uh, Even if Bama loses, they're in because of the same thing. Their resume is just ridiculously strong. So Ohio State, if they lose,
they might be
uh,
out.
all you Buckeye fans out there, I'm sorry. Yeah, Ohio State's probably out. That would suck because I want to see Justin Fields isn't going to get the respect of playing in the Big Ten this year. He's going to need a playoff performance to really shut his doubters up in terms of draft standings. So it'll be he needs to make the playoffs. So Ohio State, he has to handle business. He has to do it because the Big Ten isn't going to give him that respect. So it'll be
Bad
interesting.
year for the Big Ten.
Yeah, unfortunately, his best test was supposed to be, and they don't make it easy on themselves because they're setting no buys, and we've already seen Wisconsin. They can't even play in the Big Ten title game because they won't have enough games because they've missed 2 of them. Ohio State, Ryan Day was just tested positive for COVID, so he's not coaching this week. They have a 21 rule day on players, so it'll be interesting to see if Ryan Day falls under that 21-day rule.
Look out for Michigan.
Yeah, right.
They're hot. Cade McNamara. They're about to roll into the Big Ten championship game.
That's gonna be Ohio State by 50. Like,
yeah, probably.
There was that joke over summer, Ohio State dropping 100. Ryan Day said he was gonna do it. Yeah.
He might.
It's gonna
with those
happen.
Corners at Michigan.
Oh my gosh! I mean, Michigan will probably score 90 because the corners at Ohio State just got exposed, but Ohio State's definitely dropping 100. But transition off of that, BYU needs to get their stuff together and just buck up. There's a wet dream of like BYU and Cincinnati possibly meeting.
Yeah,
And
saw that.
I'm there for all of that. That would be awesome.
I think BYU wins in a rout.
I don't know. Cincinnati's defense is pretty tough. I mean, granted, nobody really knows.
Struggle against UCF.
Yeah, but yeah, see BYU and Zach Wilson go up against another top 10 team would be nice. He's another one who needs a bowl game. I mean, he's getting respect playing the teams he is, but he needs a big-time opponent to really make some noise. With that, we will go into our top 5 quarterbacks of the draft.
Get your cape on.
Get it. Be quiet. So here's why he says that. So we both have Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields as top guys. And the rest of mine, I said top guys. They're in our top 5. You're a liar if you say he's not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thought you were gonna say top 2. I wanted to stop you before you went there.
He's in my top 2. My third would be Zach Wilson, followed by Trey Lance, and then Kyle Trask to top it off at the top 5. And then who's your top 5?
We got – you ready? You want a drum roll? We got Trevor Lawrence, number 1.
Duh.
Number 2, we got Trey Lance.
I used to love Trey Lance.
Number 3, we got Zach Wilson. Number 4, Kyle Trask.
Oh, my God.
So that leaves Justin Fields, QB5 for this draft.
Oh, you're so wild. This has got to be some, like, super clickbait hot take.
Hey, if I'm talking best quarterbacks in college, Justin Fields is arguably up there with Trevor Lawrence neck and neck. But if I'm thinking next level, I'm thinking Kyle Trask is going to land with New Orleans or just a good scheme for him. So I think he'll have more pro success. It's definitely a hot take, but hopefully I won't have to look back on this and feel like an idiot.
So I feel I see what you're doing here, and that's why you did it. You're looking at like where they're going to land in the draft because scheme fit is huge. There's no doubt about it. If Kyle Trask gets with a New Orleans or even a San Francisco, that dude is going to thrive. But if he ends up in like a Jacksonville or a Detroit,
there's no way though.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying like that's why you're covering. Like you could say Kyle Trask gonna be better than Justin Fields because Kyle Trask might land up with Kyle Shanahan or Sean Payton, and just blows up. Which I mean, that stuff happens. So I'm gonna go on a tangent here because I was talking to somebody the other day and I got my feelings really hurt about it. So earlier you brought up the Jags and how they just collapsed. And this draft position idea. And I was watching Deshaun Watson on Thanksgiving and just thinking about how we took Leonard Fournette over Deshaun Watson. And imagine Deshaun Watson and that 2017 Jags defense. Oh, I'm hurt. I know Mahomes is in the same class, but I don't know if Mahomes would have thrived in Jacksonville.
You just give him a football.
Oh, I agree. Dude's amazing. But we didn't have the situation to where he would have been able to have growing pains. We were in the situation where he's throwing out right away. And he said he couldn't read defenses till his second year in the league. His first year in Jacksonville would have been a mess if he couldn't have read
Humble brag.
defenses. Yeah. But I'm saying, like, he needed that time. Not I don't know if he needed it, honestly, but it helped him. I don't think we can say that. But in Jacksonville, I can't say that. And that's where that scheme fit that you talk about comes in, is these dudes. I think Trevor Lawrence is the only quarterback in this class where you can put him anywhere in the league and he'll have decent success. I'm not going to say he's going to be a superstar, but he'll be able to step in right away and you won't be nervous. Where Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, Kyle Trask, you need some pieces around him right now early just to ease them into that success. I think they're all going to be good, but
Justin Fields QB5.
So I mentioned Trey Lance and how I loved him. He lost by not being able to have a season because the explosion of Zach Wilson just moves Trey Lance down the board, and Trey Lance is an amazing prospect.
Should have
That dude,
transferred.
yeah, he should have. It would have been awesome to see him go to like a Big Ten school or something because he's big, he's strong, 6'3", 220. Dude runs good. He's got a cannon. The ball he's got that Mahomes type arm strength. I don't know if it's as strong, but dude can launch it. So it'll be awesome to see where he lands. If he gets in a place like I've seen like Atlanta get Trey Lance and have him learn behind Matt Ryan, man, that'd be a good pairing right there. Or even in Tampa, him and Bruce Arians' offense would be pretty nice.
Yeah, maybe. Brady's got about 6 more years, so.
I'm a big Zach Wilson fan. The Mormon Manziel.
He's been balling.
I've not said this on social media because I would get slaughtered, but I kind of like I've said it. I want the Jags to either get the first pick or like the 5th pick because I prefer Zach Wilson over Justin Fields, but I wouldn't be mad.
Uh-oh.
I don't know. I think Justin Fields scares me.
Then you're gonna have that Justin Fields AV on Twitter. I'm
No.
Yeah, I'll make you a nice little edit.
Hey, I defended Bortles for a couple of years.
I know it.
With every bit of me. So if Justin Fields does come out and he does stink, I'm fully prepared and equipped to fight that off.
Uh-oh.
Bortles led us to 4 wins, and I said he just needs one more year.
Just needs a piece.
Yeah, just one more. Hey, he took us to the AFC title game. Oh, we'll get into that later. So staying on young quarterbacks, we have Burrow and Tua had like similar weekends, but unsimilar weekends. They both got hurt to some extent. Burrow got really hurt. He tore his ACL, MCL, PCL, got some damage on the knee. He's out for a while.
Hate to see it.
Oh, you hate it. You got, I mean, that was a nasty little hit too. His knee popped out. It was pretty gross. But yeah, I mean, you hate to see it, but everybody kind of thought it was going to happen, but you never know. And then Tua hurt his foot, apparently. Got benched for Fitzpatrick for performance. So 2 young guys. Tua's still keeping his job. Burrow, hopefully, has a speedy recovery.
It'd be interesting to see how Tua bounces back. That's got to hurt your confidence.
Yeah. So he has a good bounce back game. He's playing the Jets this week. So if he really has that fire in him, he's going for like 350 this weekend.
Sam Darnold might come back and win.
Yeah, so apparently this is the first time that it's going to be like Sam and all his boys. He's got Denzel Mims. He's got Mekhi Becton healthy. Yeah, if Sam comes out and gets a dub, I'm buying a Darnold jersey.
Your dream come true.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, Jack's taking over the number 1 pick if the Jets get a win based off of strength of schedule. So, yeah, I'm a Jets fan for the rest of the year. We had Tua, hopefully, he can bounce back because me and you both like Tua. We love what he has to offer. So,
I don't think he's a 350 type of quarterback. The reason I like Tua is because he'll get you 200, 250, depending on the game. Get you 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. That's what I like about him. Is he's smart, and a lot of people don't. A lot of people say same with Burrow, but you see Burrow make the silly rookie mistakes. You haven't really seen Tua make a throw yet where you're like, oof.
Yeah.
So,
Sorry, my dogs just went off. My wife just got home, so if you hear
it'll be
noises,
interesting to see how Tua bounces back, and it'll also be interesting to see how Burrow bounces back. Prayers for Burrow. Hope he comes back soon.
yeah, definitely. Definitely hope Burrow comes back soon. You hate to see a young guy go down like that, especially one who's making noise. Him, Tua, Herbert, all were having pretty decent years. Tua's only played a couple games, so Burdick's still out, but still, the league set up for the future with young quarterbacks, and it's going to be pretty fun to see. And so with Burrow, I mean, we say this every week. We live in Southwest Ohio, so we hear all the noise. There was a bunch of people calling for Zach Taylor to be fired strictly based off of Burrow's injury.
Hurt
Do you
feelings.
do you think that's fair to blame Zach Taylor for Burrow getting hurt?
Not at all. If you're gonna blame anybody, you got to blame Mike Brown or whoever his daughter, whoever's running the team now, for seeing week after week him getting hit 5, 10 times a game, maybe more than that. You have to blame that more on Mike Brown not bringing him any help. I mean, Zach Taylor isn't signing free agents. Zach Taylor isn't. I don't know. I mean, they blame Zach Taylor because he hired the line coach, I guess, because they're buddies. I don't know anything about it, but you can't blame that on Zach Taylor. I mean, he's getting blamed because they were throwing the ball when they were leading. It's like it's third down. You're up 4, I think, at the time. 4 or 3 at the time. You're not up big. Of course, you're going to throw the ball on third down. It makes no sense to not try to get a first down throwing the ball. So I don't know. I mean, he did throw the ball too many times. You can blame Zach Taylor for that, but a lot of that is because they're behind in games. So I don't know. Zach Taylor's getting a lot of blame for no reason, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm with you. Their argument was, yeah, he's thrown 400 times or whatever at that point in the season. But I think a part of that is because that's where Burrow thrived in LSU. You saw the Bengals going 5 wide a ton. Why? It wasn't because they have such good wide receivers that they're willing to spread the field out and just tear you apart. It's because that's where Burrow thrived. It's easier to read defenses. I mean, some of that was on purpose, and Burrow signed off on that because that's what he wanted. And then they're blaming the amount of times he's gotten hit. He got hit a lot. He got hit 72 times, and it's not normal, but it's happened before. Daniel Jones just went through that last year, so you can't blame Zach Taylor. It was a freak accident. He just got doubled up. You got to blame Duke Tobin, Mike Brown. They're
Blame
the
Joe
ones.
Mixon.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe
You can
if
blame
maybe
him.
if he'd quit on the team and nursed that injury,
Jeez.
he'd be out there running the ball on third and short. But
Yeah,
shout out to our Bengals fans, listeners. I know you guys hate us probably. You just listen to make fun of us, but shout out to Jake. He tweeted earlier in that game, "Well, our line's our line's looking good. This is gonna be dangerous. Look out, NFL!" And then it all went bad real quick. So hopefully
yeah.
Burrow's back though.
They really turned the corner on that. This because there was all that hype about Akeem Adeniji getting better too. Like he's the answer at right tackle,
And
and I
Quentin
think he
Spain,
was. Yeah, he was one of the
Buffalo.
guys who got beat. But anyways, back on that point is like Zach Taylor just works with what he's handed. He didn't go out and sign all these turds. He didn't want to have Bobby Hart out there, but when that's your best option because your owner and GM or player personnel guy don't go get anybody, it's it's not fair on Taylor to blame him for the line. It's
Yeah, they
fair
spent
to
money
blame
on the
him.
D line and the secondary, but none on the offensive line.
Yeah, and you can attack Taylor for maybe his message being stale because there was that whole rumor in the coaching culture, but for the injury, you can't really blame him on that. Now, if Taylor did lose his job, he's joining the likes of uh, probably Adam Gase. Dan Quinn already got fired. So we have the Jets, the Falcons. Doug Marrone in Jacksonville looks like he's on the way out. And then Matt Patricia in Detroit looks like he's on the way out. So where do you think the Bengals rank because they're screaming for Eric Bieniemy. He's the hottest name on the market, and he's going to have the pick of his choosing. Basically, all these teams are probably going to come at him. So, where do you think the Bengals rank in that pecking order in terms of jobs, to where they can probably get a top flight guy like an Eric Bieniemy, or there's going to be some other names pop up. Joe Brady's going to be hot. I don't think he's ready to be a head coach yet, but
No, maybe
wait,
maybe two or three. There'd be. I could see a team you didn't mention, or maybe you did, the Chargers.
oh yeah, Anthony Lynn. Maybe
I
I
could.
don't know. He's doing some good stuff with Justin Herbert. They might give him another year, but yeah, just in case.
Is he though? I mean, he wanted to start Tyrod over him, even though he went off
That,
against the Chiefs. He wanted to
that's
bring Tyrod
fair.
right back. But I don't know. I would say if I was a coach, I mean, you can kind of create your own culture in New York. Go there, have Trevor Lawrence if they do lose out, and then you can kind of tell, hey, Joe Douglas, this is what I want. Let's build this way. Let's take these players, kind of chip in on that perspective. And then if the Chargers job opens up, they have a solid defense. They're dealing with a lot of injuries, and they're just blowing games late. So it's not like they're getting blown out. So that would be an attractive job too, even though you are in a division with Mahomes. So you got to compete with that. But it's a challenge a coach might want. So I'd say the Bengals are probably third on that list. I don't see Atlanta as being a real hot spot. Their cap space is kind of tied with Matt Ryan and Julio, and yeah. So I would say the Jets are number one in my opinion.
So I actually have the Bengals lower, and here's why. So they're probably fourth on my list. So you have the Jets only because of Trevor Lawrence. Joe Douglas is an awesome GM. So they're walking into a situation with a franchise quarterback. Mekhi Becton's the real deal on a franchise left tackle. And then Denzel Mims is looking really nice too now that he's healthy. So you have a young wide receiver to grow with your quarterback. They have a ton of cap space, and they'll probably have the freedom to do what they want. This team gave Adam Gase more time than is needed, so you expect a patient owner. But my second team, and it's going to sound like a homer take, but there's a ton of positives when it comes to it, is the Jacksonville Jaguars. You're going to have a top pick for your young quarterback. You already have DJ Chark, who's a solid receiver. And then Laviska Shenault, Keelan Cole are both solid pieces around him. James Robinson looks like a stud as an undrafted rookie. They're going to go into the offseason with the most cap space in the NFL. So you got time to sign people who go free. And then their owner, he never fires anybody. So you got mad patience there. And then I like the Falcons job, but third is probably LA Chargers if that became free, because Justin Herbert's there. They got a good offense and defense when healthy. So I think the Bengals would be fourth on my list.
Yeah, I would say the only thing good about the Jacksonville job is the weather. Living in Florida.
And you got Florida. See, cap space, QB, Florida. Jeez, that's a dub, man. We'll stay in the AFC South, though. Uh, Titans and Colts both got big wins over the Ravens and Packers, respectively. Uh, I thought preseason the AFC South was going to be a three-man race, but the Texans decided not to play football this year. Deshaun's doing all he can to carry them. So the Colts and Titans are fighting for that division title. Who do you think is going to pull out on top? They've both
uh,
got bad losses, and they both have good wins.
yeah,
So
the Colts are a really weird team. It's like you beat the Packers, but you lose to like the Browns,
and the Jags.
and then you struggle against the Bengals. So it's like I don't know. It's like Philip Rivers. You never know what you're gonna get, which we kind of expect that. But he played really well against the Packers. Somehow beat Aaron Rodgers in a shootout. I don't know if the Packers are just frauds or if Philip Rivers really earned that. But I would still say the Titans are going to win that division. It's getting into cold weather football. You got one of the best running backs in the league, if not the best. He's just going to thrive in those cold weather games. You're not going to want to tackle him when it's 20 degrees.
Yeah, they already don't like tackling him now. He's leading the NFL in touchdowns. He's second in yards, only behind Dalvin Cook. Derrick Henry's a monster, and like you said, he's going to thrive in these later season games. I got the Titans doing it too. Uh, their defense, I think, is a little bit better than the Colts. They got to find a pass rush. They can't seem to sack anybody. So
Clowney is such a waste of money.
I think he's hurt now too. So they had Vic Beasley. They already cut him. They had Clowney. I think they brought in somebody else too.
Pretty
It's
sure they
just
traded a linebacker to the Jags.
yeah, yeah. They traded Correa to the Jags. They cannot find a pass rush, and they're going to need that in the playoffs because you are going to run into guys like Mahomes who don't care what kind of weather it is. They're going to sling that thing. So they're going to have to figure it out. But yeah, I think they still win the division. It's going to be tough. The AFC is really tough this year. There's going to be 7 teams, and there's probably going to be a 10-6 team that doesn't get into the playoffs. So it'll
There's a
be
chance, yeah.
it's going to be interesting. You got the Browns are probably going to win 10 games. They might make the
Cupcake
playoffs.
Steelers.
The Steelers pretty much clinched the playoff spot. They're 10-0. They're going to get the 1 seed. They might go 16-0 with this schedule.
Yeah, they might.
Speaking of them, we got to talk about them versus the Ravens. It's a big game. It's been
Fortunate
pushed
COVID
back a
injuries.
whole week. Yeah, COVID. Lamar Jackson might not play.
He's definitely not playing.
Mark Ingram, J.K. Dobbins, both out right now. So they can still play because it got moved back to Tuesday. They only got to test negative 5 days, I think. Something like that. So
That COVID ain't going nowhere. Those are I think those are true positives. So I think they'll definitely be out.
yeah,
Which sucks, but hey, maybe RG3 goes in here and steals the job.
he ain't stealing that job. I know we want to believe that, but
It's wild though. You hear all the time about Lamar can make all these throws, and Lamar is capable of making all these throws. And you turn on Sports Center today, and it's like, oh, RG3 can make these throws that Lamar can't make. You hear all people saying that. It's like, what? How are you going to say Lamar
jeez.
can do this? And then RG3 can make different throws in this offense? It's like, what? None of this is making sense. I thought Lamar could do all this, but
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see if they pass the ball more.
Yeah, that will be interesting. So RG3, I mean, he was a prolific passer. He won Rookie of the Year. He beat Andrew Luck for Rookie of the Year, and Andrew Luck led a 1-win team to 11 wins. So it tells you
Hollywood
how.
might be jumping up and down. Like, I
Oh
might
my
get a deep
gosh,
ball this week.
he's a soldier. He's got to get his touches, so he might get them this week. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see RG3. He can do the same stuff Lamar does running, maybe not to the extent of how explosive he is, but he definitely has upside as a passer. So
Capable.
yeah, definitely. So it'll be fun to see that. And so going off of there, I want to introduce this new segment we want to do. If you want to exit out, you can now because we're about to get into Homer Town. We got this new segment called the Wolf and the Jag. So this is where we can tune into our fandom. We'll turn on all our biases, and really dig into the Jags and the Chiefs here. So we'll start off with the Chiefs. They play the Bucks this weekend. It's a big game. Sunday night or Monday?
Sunday, 4:25.
Oh, dang. They don't even get the 8 o'clock game for this one?
Nope.
Tom Brady, Pat Mahomes. Tom Brady's been dropping stinkers. This isn't prime time, so he might be on. He might be okay now. This is gonna be a fun,
After a loss, usually.
yeah. This is gonna be a fun game. You got two of the best teams, two teams who people consider Super Bowl contenders.
All right, I'm going to
All
start
right.
this off with being a non-homer. After watching what average car did, after watching what Honda Civic car did against this defense,
Civic.
it's a little scary when you're going up against Nelson Aguilar and Ruggs and Waller, and they're getting wide open, butt naked in the secondary. Then you're going up against Antonio Brown, Chris Godwin, Mike Evans. Those guys are kind of good, right? So it's a little scary.
Darren Waller was eating too, and you're about to see
Yeah.
Gronk.
Yeah, so it's a little scary. I think Waller's better than Gronk at this point
Oh
in his
yeah,
career.
at this point, yeah, for sure.
But it's definitely scary going up against those 4 guys. And then you got the running game with Ronald Jones. So we definitely are going to have to get pressure. We definitely need the big names on defense to start making an impact. Tyrann Mathieu, if you weren't watching the game, you don't see him in the stat book most times. maybe one tackle, two tackles. It's hard to watch because after last year he was so great making plays all over the field, and now it's just like where you at? I mean, you got Sorensen matched up one-on-one with Waller all game. Are you telling me that Sorensen can cover better than Matthew? You're putting Matthew as a quarterback spy and covering Waller with Sorensen. I don't get it. You think Matthew would want that challenge?
Yeah.
And then when you get Matthew in open space against Waller, he's acting scared to tackle, just getting ran over. And then Frank Clark, Chris Jones, no sacks, no sacks against the Jets. It's like these guys that get paid this big money, they need to step up. And this is the
Yeah,
week.
Chris Jones is getting mad at the corners on the sideline.
Yeah, this is the week you need to step up. I mean, it's not the corner's fault. Like, bring that fire with you on the field. Don't share it all on the sideline. But the one thing I will touch on, being Homer, we've discussed this before. Sammy Watkins in this Chiefs offense, I think he's the biggest piece to this offense. That's not Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce. I kind of he's the straw that stirs the drink. He's huge. He takes usually like when you're playing against the elite teams, they'll put their number one corner on him. Like Stephon Gilmore will cover him, and he still gets open. He's big when you need him on third down. It's usually Kelce or Watkins. So I think if we get him back, I don't know what's happening. The Chiefs said he's out on Twitter, and then they said everybody's playing. So last I saw was there's a good chance he plays, which would be huge. He hasn't played in like 5 or 6 weeks. Well, since week 5. So I think it'd be nice to get him back, especially in this game. You're going to probably need to score.
Yeah, Sammy's huge. Like you said, he's that big body you can go over the middle. When Kelce ain't getting it, it's nice to have him because you can't expect a Cole or D-Rob to go do that. He does the dirty stuff that a lot of receivers don't like to do, and he's big.
He's the best route runner on the team.
Yeah, and he's big after the catch too.
Yeah,
he's not an easy guy to bring down.
That's not a popular take. A lot of Chiefs fans will argue with me, but Tyreek is improving his route running, but he's still not the route runner like Sammy is.
Yeah, and that was, I mean, honestly, Sammy's calling card coming out of Clemson was good route runner, big physical receiver. So it was nice to see him put that together. In KC, it just sucks that he keeps getting hurt. I have a receiver on my team, Laviska Shenault, who I've compared to Sammy Watkins because he does the same thing, but he has the same issues. He keeps getting hurt because that's just the style of play. They're going to run head up on a linebacker to fight for that extra 2 yards versus going down or taking the easy hit. So
all right,
it would be nice to see Sammy come back.
Last thing on the Chiefs, I would say play Willie Gay more, please, Spagnola. There's no reason Ben Neiman needs to get in the game at all. I mean, you got Neiman and Sorensen as your third down stoppers out there. It's just all bad. Keep Willie Gay in the game. He can cover. The time I saw him getting a lot of snaps, he was knocking down passes. So keep him in there. Blitz him. Do whatever you got to do. If you don't feel comfortable with him covering, he's probably one of our best athletes on defense. But I can see the Chiefs winning this game. I think it's going to come down to the fourth quarter, who makes more plays. And fourth quarter, if it's close, I'm taking Mahomes over Brady at this point.
Yeah, so Chris Jones and Frank Clark are really going to have to earn their money this week because that's been the thing on Brady. If you can move him off his spot, it's going to make him a lot easier to beat. But if you just let him sit back there and dice you up, he'll do that all day. So
Gotta stop the run.
Yeah. Ronald Jones is turning it up this year. Fournette's a non-factor, so you don't have to worry about him. Dude's got worse vision than my grandma. But yeah, Frank Clark and Chris Jones, I think, are going to be the catalyst here. And it's going to be interesting to see who lines up against Mike Evans because I think they're going to move him all over the place.
Hopefully not Ward. Hopefully they play Snead more this week.
Yeah, so Ruggs only had like the one big catch.
He had 5 yards last time.
Oh, did he? Oh, so that was the first time, yeah. But, I mean, so they didn't really get burnt deep a lot. But, yeah, Waller was going off. I expect them to move Evans around, try to get him matched up with people. AB might be playing more outside. And Godwin's a big body receiver, too, in the slot. So it'll be interesting to see how they match up. I got KC winning this one, though. Brady will bounce back, but I don't think it'll be enough. Like you said, I'll take Mahomes over Brady in the close game right now.
Let's move on to those Jags. The
So
only thing you got going good for you right now is that mascot looking good out there.
yeah, that and the record's looking pretty good too. You know, we've still only won one game. We played the Packers tight. That scared me a little bit. But then the Steelers came into town and we reverted back to normal. So we just gotta. I'm a Jets fan, man. I told you. It's sad when I get stressed out watching a Jets game and I have no allegiance to them.
I got the Jags winning this week, by the way. You're not gonna like that, but
Yeah, I would believe that if my mailman wasn't out there playing safety, because every single person in the Jag secondary is on IR right now. Chris Henderson's hurt. Sidney Jones, who's been a great pickup from the Eagles, he got hurt last week. Our safety, Daniel Thomas, picked off Ben Roethlisberger, proceeded to get hurt a shoulder on the next defensive possession. And our free safety is a special teamer, Andrew Wingard. So Baker might actually look like a decent quarterback this week. The only people we have on defense right now are Miles Jack and Joe Sherbert. So Miles Jack's going to be doing his thing. He'll ball out, but I expect nothing else. Browns are going to put up like 40.
Chris Conley's gonna go off.
He's hurt too. You didn't
Oh
hear?
man, yeah, you're screwed.
Yeah, we're rolling. DJ Chark's hurt. So Mike Glennon is throwing to Keelan Cole, Laviska Shenault, who hasn't played in a month, Colin Johnson, who's 6'6", but runs a 6 flat 40. And so it's gonna be hard to watch. This is gonna be one of the toughest games. Gardner
You're
Minshew,
still gonna watch it. There's gonna be a better game on. You're still gonna be sitting there watching it.
I know, I'm a glutton for punishment. So Gardner Minshew's healthy, but Doug Marrone isn't playing him. I think it's punishment. He says he wants him to throw for a full week, but trainers and everybody else have signed off on it. So I think Marrone is still mad that Minshew hurt his thumb and didn't tell him. So he's going to make him sit for another week. And I think he thinks he's going to win this week. So he's like, nah, let's just sit him down.
I'd sit him for the rest of the year.
Yeah, no, I don't want to do that. So here's why. Because I heard this today and I was super giddy about it. They brought up this scenario where the Saints traded for Gardner Minshew for like a third or a fourth, which is completely possible because he's a decent quarterback. And in Sean Payton's system, he offers everything Drew Brees does, except a stronger arm now.
Yeah.
Oh, it'd be good. I'd be happy about that because I want Gardner to thrive, just like you with Alex Smith. I mean, he's a good dude. He's just not the dude. So
yeah, it's rough.
It'd be pretty cool to see Gardner come in, handle business. Hopefully not. We got cushion. Like I said, Jags only have one win. The next closest is 3 wins. Bengals have 2, but they have a tie. So Jags can still win and hold that number 2 spot. So
if you guys go Fields, I could see some people wanting Minshew.
Absolutely.
You mentioned Washington. That could be a spot.
Yeah, so I think it would be an indoor team because of the arm strength issue. So the Saints, I thought, was an absolute perfect pairing. And then possibly like San Fran might take a shot at him.
I can see that.
Yeah, so
Ravens.
But I think there's definitely Minshew's shown enough to where he could pull a draft pick for sure. And I think it'd be a fairly decent one. So
Hope for a 5th.
No, he'll go higher than that. Nick Foles went for a 4th.
Yeah, Nick Foles has a ring.
Oh, whatever. And he just got benched for Trubisky. So,
he's hurt. What do you want him to do?
He's hurt. Come on. Dude couldn't walk off the field for a day-to-day injury.
He's too hurt to play.
Dude, Nick Foles pisses me off.
Yeah, I love him. He was in Jacksonville.
As a guy, he's cool, but as a quarterback, oh my gosh. There's nothing worse than when you pay a guy $88 million, you expect him to be good, and he loses all the time, and then he goes to his post-game presser talking about, oh, we're just building a culture. No, bro. You need to be building dubs. This isn't it.
You didn't like him week 1 with the Jags against the Chiefs? He threw that dot when he got hurt. That was a dime.
Yeah, I liked him after he got hurt, and then the real guy came in and went
Oh
21
man.
and 22 for 250 and 3 tutties.
Oh man.
So yeah, the only and what sucked. It's funny you brought that game up because Minshew's only incompletion was hitting Fournette in the hands and getting intercepted. Gosh, what a
You
way
love
to
to
start
see
your
it.
career. Oh man,
That game kind of scared me. I was like, are we really about to lose to Minshew? I mean, that guy came in just throwing darts,
yeah.
getting a little too close for comfort.
He started off this year on fire too. I really think that thumb injury had something to do with it, but I'm too
We'll
invested in
see.
us. I'm too invested in us sucking now. I'm over Minshew. Love the dude, but you cannot win us any more games.
You're gonna be missing
Please.
Minshew when you got Fields out there.
Yeah, right, dude. Fields is gonna be throwing dimes too.
Mm, debatable.
Oh, whatever. But yeah, hopefully we don't have to worry about that when we get Trevor Lawrence. And then it's playoff time.
Yeah, hopefully, hopefully you do get Lawrence, so I don't have to have a podcast with somebody who capes for Justin Fields every week. That's
Oh, dude,
best case scenario.
it's gonna be gross, dude. Don't let Justin Fields ball out.
Oh,
Please
I
don't
know.
let that happen.
You'll be bringing up old clips every episode.
Yeah, I'm gonna be pulling out screenshots, Bob. I'm gonna be good at editing by then. I'm gonna post
It's,
some stuff from our Twitter DMs.
I will say it's so nice to not have to worry about drafting a quarterback now. I mean, because with Kansas City for the past 20 years, you've been thinking, are we going to draft a quarterback this year? We're going to draft a quarterback this year? I mean, you haven't had a quarterback in the first round so long, so it's nice to have Mahomes and just kind of sit back. Maybe we can draft Ian Book.
Yeah, so I can't wait for that day. I've gone through it. Let's see. We've drafted a first round quarterback 3 times since I have been actively rooting for the Jags. We had Byron Leftwich, Blaine Gabbert, and then Blake Bortles. So I'm waiting for the time that we can do that and actually get it right. I caped for Blake so hard.
The boat.
That dude was so annoying. He looked so good, and then he would just forget how to throw a football. It
Throwing
was
off a
the
lineman's helmet.
it was the most infuriating thing. He was the unluckiest quarterback too. He's got thrown off lineman helmet. It's picked. He throws it in the dirt and it hits his receiver's foot. Gets picked off. That happened twice.
I remember he threw a touchdown on a screen pass to Chris Jones, and then another game he threw a touchdown on a screen pass to Tom Ali. I was like, good Lord.
Yeah, he was 6'5", and he had the most batted passes I'd ever seen. Well, until Jake Luton last week against the Steelers. Gosh.
Yeah, that was rough. You got to keep him in if you're tanking.
I know. I don't know what Doug Marin's doing. He thinks he's gonna save his job or something. Hope not.
Hopefully you don't keep Marone. That'd be worst case scenario.
So with Marone, it's tough because I don't think he's a bad coach. He's just not got a good team. Like the way these kids are playing, it's the youngest team in the NFL, and they're competing when they shouldn't. And it's not really his fault, but it's the GM's fault. The GM is awful. You don't get to fail. You drafted Blake Bortles in the first round. That was a bust. And then you signed Nick Foles, and that was a bust. No GM should ever survive that. Doug Marone just got handed a bad hand.
Yeah, maybe. I don't
Andy
know.
can't.
I'm not
Andy
sold
can't
on
hire.
Marone.
He can't hire coordinators. I do hate him for that. Our defensive coordinator gave up 5 straight games of 30-plus points, and Marone comes out and capes for him. As long as I'm here, he's here. Come on, bro.
Bring in Urban Meyer.
No. I want somebody who's been there with a good coordinator.
Who would you
Like,
want?
I
Who's
don't
out there
know.
right now?
So you got EB is the obvious choice. I think between him and Brian Daboll in Buffalo would probably be
About
my
Greg
ideal
Roman.
choices. I'm cool. Kirk
That's rough.
Roman, he seems to get figured out pretty quick. Maybe, I mean, him with Justin Fields might be fun because Fields can actually throw, but I don't know.
Bringing Cap too. I don't know. Get a little crazy.
Get wild. No, yeah, I'd be between Eric or Dayball, and then bring in. There's a young Iowa State Matt Campbell. He might be a good one too. He's got real Matt Rule type vibes.
He just
Matt
cried
Rule's
on the field today. I don't like
he just beat Texas.
it.
He's not supposed to beat Texas.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't like it.
So this weekend, you got a Chiefs dub against the Bucks. Jags are going to catch a fat L to Baker and the Browns. This was the
Love it. The first
Wolf
Wolf
and
and
the
the Jag.
Wolf and the Jag. Let us know if you guys want to hear some more of that. I'm going to post it in a section by itself on YouTube. So that way, if you guys only want to listen to that, you can. But we'll bring that back. You got any last closing thoughts before we head out of here?
Shout out to the flock. Go buy merch. Teespring.com/Black Sheep merch. Shout out to Jim Bob's Grizzly Beard Co.
Oh, yes. I can't believe I didn't do that. Jim Bob's Grizzly Beard Care.
We'll get that up at my house since Josh can't put
Yeah,
it up.
that's my bad.
I'll have that back here soon.
I say it every episode. This dude's awesome. Veteran-owned company. JBGBC.com. The dude supports us on everything we do. So he's awesome. Go check him out. Jim Bob's Grizzly Beard Care. Hey, thank you guys. Shout out to the flock. We'll see you next Thursday. We promise.
Hopefully.
Well, do we need to do it next Thursday? There's no Thursday night game since the Ravens can't control their COVID.
Yeah, we'll do it Wednesday night. Get it out Thursday.
Get it out Thursday. Again, Patreon, $5. Join a Discord. Get fans-only content, not only fans content. So chill out.
Whatever you want.
Yeah, but we'll see you guys. Peace.